So in a pigeon pose, we're working the extension and flexion of the hip, one leg extension of the hip. Okay, so it requires the flexibility on our glutes, your hamstring, your hip flexors, your quads muscles, and also this is a very nice posture for the people those are having the 𝗧𝗂𝗂𝗃 in the Rajakapotasana, because when the 𝗧𝗂𝗂𝗃 nerve get compressed, it gives the really painful feeling to your back, to your hips, your lower back, and your thighs, your calf. It travels all the way down to your heel. People cannot sit, they cannot walk, they cannot lay down. You know, it's really hard. So pigeon pose is really nice for them when they're stretching the glutes muscle. It really helps to decompress the 𝗧𝗂𝗂𝗃. Chakrasana we're going to use as a preparatory pose, Rajakapotasana, because for the Chakrasana also require the flexibility of the quads and hip flexure, the extension of the hips. So let's do the Rajakapotasana first. See, I'm going to give you the easy trick how you can adjust yourself in a pigeon pose. You can still, as a partner, we can helping each other. But you see, if you want to improve yourself, try by yourself, and you can go even, see, you cannot have the partner all the time in your practice. Or when you go home and you're practicing by yourself, you cannot have the partner all the time with you. So when you're using the wall, some external props will help you to go deeper into the pigeon pose. Okay. So let's see first as a self adjustment how we can do the pigeon pose without making any effort and without any person help. And it's a really nice, and you will feel it. Can somebody want to try the pigeon pose? Can you please come to the downward facing dog position? Can you come a little bit forward? So you just stay like a little bit half feet or 1 feet away from the wall. Don't get very closer to the wall in this position. So from the Adho Mukha Svanasana, we'll see, we're gonna keep our leg, which leg we bring the front, similarly like a Sukhasana position. So first we did a Sukhasana, easy cross leg position, the same action. You bring the right knee inside of your right hand. So try not to bring the right knee like out of the line like that. You can drop the ankle back, it's okay, it's fine, ankle back a little bit, yeah. So you drop the knee behind your wrist or inside of your right hand, which will help you to label your knee and the hip in this position, okay. Now, so this is the second thing, you bring the ankle forward. It requires the more flexibility of the hip and the flexibility of the knee, the mobility of the knee. But yes, in the beginning, you just bring the knee inside of your ankle first in this position. So now, once you drop the knee down, first action, what we're going to do here, which is our back leg, extension of the leg. So we'll try to slide the left leg backward as much possible, okay. Drag the left leg more further back to the back of the mat as much you can go here, okay, according to the flexibility of the leg. But make sure, and sometime what happen, in order to be comfortable, we start to dropping our body like that, you know, resting our buttocks on the ground. So what happened, as the moment you tilt side, it doesn't stretch our hip flexion, the quads, because you're rolling the leg internally, externally now. So in order to stretch your quads, hip flexor, you have to keep your body in the center like that, okay, in order to get the stretch on the quads and hip flexor here. So we'll work on the centralizing our body. Now, for example, her right buttock is not connecting on the floor. So what you're going to do here, we can use some blanket here, we can use some props, but don't use a hard object like such like a brick. Is really hard, wooden, it doesn't help us to improve. It will give the stability but doesn't help to go deeper. So we can use the blanket, we can use the cushion, and we can use the bolster. Hey, stay here, what happened? You alright? Yes. We haven't started yet. Stay here, breathe deeply. So how we can whenever you're using supporting, for example, when you're supporting, taking the wall support, so just adjust a little height underneath the buttocks. Well, usually whenever we do the pigeon pose, we're supporting our both hips. We adjust the bolster underneath the right thigh and left thigh. No, breathe. So we have a blanket, you can fold it nicely according your need. So for example, I adjust the blanket. So little bit, keep your thigh a little bit up. Wait, stay there, don't lean one side, stay there. So now I have a little support for the blankets. You need more support, but I don't want her to go more down, but stay here. So I will help her to support, take the blanket, but how? Let's see how. I want her to extend this leg. See, look at here. 𝗏𝗔𝐶, look, stay there. 𝗏𝗔𝐶, slide her left leg more further back. It will help her to bring her right butt down, okay. So we're going to work on the extension of the back leg. So I keep the little bit, can you lift your right hip up? Yeah, like that. So I have a little support for here. Still, is not. I'm not giving her like complete support. Like okay, not like. Can you lift your buttocks a little bit? I'm not giving her like complete support like that too, so that she can be comfortable here. I want her to bring her butt down. I want to support her, but not completely. Otherwise, she's in a comfortable zone. She is not making effort to go more deeper in this position. Okay. So now, once she adjusts her leg, I will ask her to working on the back leg. So her back leg gonna be like you do the 𝗧𝗲𝗰𝗵𝗲𝗿, right? You do the low lunge position, 𝗧𝗲𝗰𝗵𝗲𝗿 location. You press that ankle and push the hip forward here. Okay, so you press that ankle strongly on the floor. Yeah, like that. You're pressing the left ankle strongly on the floor and trying to slide your toes like backward as much possible. Now we're gonna take our hands on the wall. So the wall, how we're gonna use the wall? So we're not gonna push our body like away from the wall. Remember, we are not working on to stretching your back. First of all, we are working on the hips to bring our hips more grounded and stretch your quads and hip flexure more in this position. You all right, Margot? Yes. Yeah. Okay. Adjust your hand on the wall. So you press the hands on the wall. You can keep your hands slightly up. Somebody have the back pain. What they can do, they can take the hands more up, or either they can move the blanket little bit away from the wall so their back is straight here. Okay, make sure they're not arching the back. Somebody having the back issue. You can open the hands a little bit more wide, will help you to give the more shoulder strength as well. Now you're pressing the hands strongly on the wall. So two action you're going to make here. First action, to bring the right butt down to the blanket. Second action you're going to do, extend your left leg backward to the top of the mat as much possible by pressing the hand. So you keep your spine slightly forward, press the palms against the wall. First action you're going to do, try to slide your left leg back as much possible. Push your hips back, yeah, like that, pressing the ankle strongly on the floor. Yeah, you try to stretching the left leg further backward in this direction. You all right, Margot? You need to go more closer to the wall? Or you want to change the leg? Okay, change the leg. Work on the back leg. Try to roll your right leg like internally in this position, like rolling like that internally by yourself. Yes, try to stretch your inner leg all the way back towards your inner side of the big toe. Very good. Press the hands on the wall. Yeah, very good. And slide your right leg more further backward as much possible, and pressing the left hip down. And third action, what you're going to add, this is the right pelvic. You're going to push the right pelvic down towards the heel by rolling the right leg. No, again, don't push from here. Remember, every time when I say we do the revolving triangle pose, if you want to keep your hip square, don't push from here. Try to roll from the bottom. So you're rolling from here inward, rolling the calf inward, rolling the thigh inward, will helping you to bring the pelvic also forward in this position. So sliding the left leg backward, working on the extension of the inner right leg, then rolling the right hip down in this position, pressing the left hip strongly on the floor. Press the hands on the wall and try to push yourself like back and down, back and down. You're right? Back and down like that. So trying to push yourself back and down. So as much you're pushing yourself like, see, for example, try to understand this momentum here. I'm here, just imagine I'm doing the pigeon pose. So I press the hands on the wall and I push my hips like back and down, back and down, back and down. This action will help me to bring my butt closer to the ground in contact with the floor, which give the really deep stretch. You feel the stretch, Margot, by yourself? Yeah. So which give you the really deep stretch when you are in a pigeon position. Okay. It really help you to get a really deep stretch to your right front of the thigh of your back leg and the back of the thigh of the front leg. Okay. Will help you to go deeper into the pigeon pose. And you did today the Hanumanasana, the splits, monkey pose. Also require the same stretch. If you're having the flexible quads and hip flexure, will really help us to get more deeper into the monkey king pose and the king pigeon pose, similar a little bit. Let's try now facing this side. We'll practice with support of the wall. It's really nice. Try by yourself. It's really nice, super nice when you do by yourself. Now, for example, if I'm helping her, can you try one more time, Margot, please? Yeah. If we are helping somebody, or if somebody doesn't want to be adjusted, so we can give them a bolster. Like, see how you're going to use the bolster. When you use the bolster, it's not only the one side. So one side we're going to use the bolster to support our hip, and other side we're going to use the bolster as a guide. How as a guide? For example, if I ask her to press my toe, press your heel down to the floor, see there is too much space here. One time she will lose the tension here. But when she have something is touching on her thigh like that, so very close to the thigh. She will make effort to touch that object strongly into the position. So one side we're going to use as a guide and other side as a support. So when you use the bolster, can you lift your hips up? We're going to use the bolster underneath our thigh and underneath our sitting bone. We can use the bolster like that. For those who have a really tight hip, cannot touch the buttocks down. So in this way, you're pressing the right buttock down on the bolster. Yeah. This a little bit forward. Yeah. So here, in this way, you're pressing the right buttock down on right sitting bone down on the bolster, and here you have the guide. Press the left thigh down to the bolster, Margot. Yes, like that. Stretch your left leg further back. Yeah, in this way. Stay hands on the cup shape. Those have a back pain, avoid arching the back because this posture gives a lot of compression to your disc, you know, a lot of pressure. So what they can do, they can keep the hands forward, they can walk the hands forward in this position like kind of sleeping pigeon pose, or if they are fine, want to get a little bit back stretch here, we can give them a little bit break like hands on the break in first level, second level. They can keep the chest higher. So here is more nice if you go more higher, you get the more stretch. As much you lift the upper part of the body here, you will have the more stretch on the quads and hip flexure. You get the more deep stretch on the front of the back leg. This is the back leg, this is the front leg, the front of the back leg. So as you're lifting the self higher, but somebody having the back issue, avoid arching the back. They can just, instead to doing this, they can go for the forward bend. If they want to stretch in the back, somebody having the back pain, they can do this other postures, okay, in order to stretch the back. So here pressing the thigh strongly on the floor, working to sliding the leg upward, and try to make a nice extension from the sides of the body here. Will also help to release that compression when you're lifting the spine up and pushing the shoulder back and lifting the chest up. Here, for the final position, you lift your head up, you drop the head back and you're looking upward. Somebody have the neck pain, you look front, no need to drop the head backward, okay? Or gaze front as much possible. Now, for example, if I want to assist her in this position, push a little bit deep into this position. So how I'm going to assist her? So it's a self adjustment. She's using the bolster. Now I will. Can you try it without bolster, Margot? Yeah. Okay. Let's try now without bolster. So without bolster, still she is finding it difficult. So I give her a little bit height underneath her right hip, which will help to balance or centralize her body. Can you walk your hands forward now? You just relax, Margot. It's my time to adjust. You just walk your hands forward. You just all the way go down. Now, for example, if I'm assisting her in this position, how I'm going to press. So remember the two action. One action we are working on to pressing the right buttock down and pressing the left thigh down. Similarly, remember the child pose, how we assist the child pose, pressure to press the buttock down. But here a little bit you have to work on the left thigh. I keep the hand on her waist, the left hip. I will try to work this to roll it inward, to bring this thigh closer to the heel. Okay, first action. Second action, I'm going to use my other hand to press her right hip down. Is okay, Margot? Yeah, let me know if you get the overstretch, don't suffer. So the one hand pressing her right hip down, so I add, so you can keep your both hands together like that. Okay, one hand pressing the right buttock down, and other hand, left hand, trying to see, remember here, remember this action. See, otherwise what happens, if you just push like that, it doesn't help so much and it's a little painful. But if you go very nicely, like in a nice way, so pressing the buttock down and using this hand, instead to pressing it down, roll it like that way, okay, which will maintain the alignment of the postures very nicely as well. So you press the right hip down and rolling the back leg, left hip internally in this position, and ask your partner to stretch your hands forward, or same time stretch your left leg more backward, working on the extension of the leg. You stay there for a bit. Okay, I'm pressing it down. I'm not pressing here too much, but I'm working here to get the more stretch on the back leg here. We'll hold a few breaths.
If the person is very stiff, you can do the same action, but with the bolster.
Yeah, exactly, with the same. So those are very tight hips. We can try with the bolster. But for those have really tight hip, but those have a little flexibility. What happens when you push them? They have a support there, so they are kind of relaxing there. You know, they cannot go more deeper. But yeah, we remove. That's why I remove the bolster. She have the blanket, so she can suffer a little bit here. You know, not a relaxing. Can you walk your hands more forward, Margot? One more time. So now, watch the left leg. Its tendency to move it. Our aim to bring the left buttock down. So I press here, pressing it down. Sorry. Right hand on her right hip. I'll try to roll her right leg internally in this position. So pressing the left hip down and rolling the back leg internally here to get the deepen stretch on the back leg. Is okay, Margot? Margot Polo. Relax. All right. and stay here, and by the time as you get the flexibility on your hip and your knee, you bring the ankle forward. That's totally fine. Okay, it will take time, but it's totally fine. Bring the ankle slowly forward. It requires the more flexibility on your hip and your knees, also mobility. Somebody have the knee pain, it can be a little bit challenging for this action, so it's much better to keep the ankle backward if you are working on your hip flexion, the quads muscle. Okay, very simply. And before to do this posture, you can do some quads stretch, for example low lunge or high lunge. For it's become more easy than if you do the, if you, for example, whenever you're practicing by yourself, your self practice, I recommend you to do the just make some posture which is similar. For example, she's working on the hips here, quads, your quads, hip flexor, the glutes, or your hamstring, right? So you choose the same posture and make kind of series. You're working on the same muscle in a different way. Okay. For example, same posture, same stretch we can get here also like that. If you do the high lunge, you're getting the same. You're working on the same muscles. Your hamstring, glutes being stretched, your quads, hip flexor being stretched, your back is getting a stretch here, like that, or low lunge position. Okay. Or maybe you can do some like standing. For example, a standing pigeon. Like see, I'm doing the same posture like a standing pigeon, trying to lift my ankle. I'm working on the same muscles, but in a different way. So in a different way, maybe sometime you will have the more ability to push yourself a little bit more further. Okay, if you want to improve this position, try to do alternative posture also.